Good morning, everybody. I'd like to call this Land, Water, and Forest Resources Committee meeting to order, please. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call?
Ed Peters.
Here.
Mark Helwig.
Here.
Kay Wilson.
Here.
Brian Bissonette.
Here.
And Jason Weaver.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In addition, if you would please remain standing for a moment of silence. Just learned that this last week we lost one of our members, Kevin Sheptick, and so. Thank you. Certification of compliance with open meetings law.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Are there any public comments? I haven't received any forms. Anyone online? Seeing no public comments coming forward, I'll move on to number 6, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the October 11th, 2023 minutes or meeting, excuse me. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Item 7, Register of Deeds report. Looks to are there any questions with regard to that?
Do we need to make a motion to increase the fees?
No, this would be this is a state level legislature. The Wisconsin Land Information is moving to having increased to the 30 to 45. So the state would actually determine the increase in the split that's listed here.
Okay. So we'll just move on. I would accept that report is presented. List of events coming up. Looks like mostly in 2024. Are there any? I guess we'll just move on from that. I think we can need a motion to approve that one. Okay.
Yeah, we do. They all have the application and proof of insurance in. The bulk of these are snow ski trail events with the exception for the Epic Bike Fest. There were some concerns about their route. We have been working with the groups to kind of separate a little bit, and it appears that the bike route is all on Berkey Trail or single track bike trails with minimal impact on the ATV trails. So that's something we've been working on over the last year or two, and we're going to continue to do that. So
Okay,
it all appears to be in order.
Then they'd be lumped together.
okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 events as posted.
I'll second that.
it's been moved and seconded to accept the events request as indicated on the report. Any questions? Yes.
Just here.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is real estate, preference to previous owner, discussion and possible action.
So, my name is Tatiana Kurtzwell. I'm representing Treasury Department today. As for tax ID 42994, Sawyer County acquired some land and parcels through INREM process on August 10th, after which we sent the letter, which is enclosed with this packet, to say to the previous owners that they still have 90 days to apply for preference to previous owner process. And we received one application from Mr. Vincent Carbonell. So he provided the application and the cash payment to cover all the delinquent taxes and penalties and fees associated with that. And the information, and that is also enclosed here. So we are requesting a motion to approve the application.
Okay, we have the information before us on this transaction. Is there a motion to?
I'll make a motion to approve the application to purchase county land.
Second, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion to make this sale to the preference to previous owner for this parcel, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is approved. Does this go to county board or? No, okay. Item 10. Land records and county surveyor report. It's like a nice brief report.
Didn't get much briefer than that.
We need a motion to accept the surveyor's report or the real property lister report. Just and no motion needed on that. Okay. Sawyer County Forestry Department, recreational trails report. Anything there? Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Kathy with Sawyer County Snowmobile and ATV Alliance. I don't have much of a report other than the Tuscobia Trail closes to ATV use November 15th through December 15th for hunting season. The Flambeau Forest Trails close as well on 11/15 through winter. And then our Sawyer County trails remain open to ATV use up until the time that snow grooming begins. After that, UTVs are restricted. They can't ride on the snow groomed trails. I just learned that we have a new DNR supervisor for the Tuscobia, the Chippewa Flowage. I think his name is Michael Watt. I haven't met him yet or talked to him, but he's replacing Kyle Marinoff. So I'm excited to be able to work with him, or our group is. And next, through NORTAC, the Northern Regional Trail Advisory Committee that I'm on, we had been working on a motorized sports user survey for over the last year. We just published that this past Monday. It's going to be a long-running survey, hopefully with the data from that, as well as trail counter data and other data that we'll gather throughout the community. We can put together a economic impact report concerning motorized sports sometime next year, towards the end of the year, and we're pretty excited about that. Lastly, I just want to introduce Chris Treeland Newman. If I'm not here to give a report for forestry, she'll be doing that. She's on our Alliance Committee, as well as she handles the grants that come through that committee and go to forestry. So she already works pretty close with Mr. Peterson. That's it, unless you have any questions.
Where do you have that information posted on the survey?
We are in the process of promoting it. Right now, it should be on the Northwest Regional Planning Commission website. And it just got published Monday, so we're a little behind the ball in promoting it. We'll have posters. We're encouraging the county to put it on their websites, especially the forestry page as well. I haven't gotten all that information out to everyone yet. I've been busy. So I also work in addition to doing the volunteer stuff here. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll get it widely distributed and promoted. So there's one survey for ATV users and one for snowmobile users. It's a short survey. It just gathers where they're riding in the Northwest region. It's 10 counties within the Northwest region that we're targeting. So we're all excited to finally gather that data. Anything
Any
else?
questions?
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Any report for non-motorized trails? County forestry report, item B.
Okay, for the month of October, we did have 18 sales listed as active. We're still seeing a high level of activity. Even though there's a lot of market concerns right now, we've got a handful of high dollar sales that are opening up this week and next week. So we're still moving along pretty well. Sale value that's sold and uncut on file was 4.3 million. We'll be close to 5 with the approval from the timber sale bid opening here today. Sale revenue in October, we had just over 337,000. So our year to date is just over 2.1 million. So we have hit our revenue goal for the year, and we will likely exceed that by a comfortable margin with the sale activity we have right now. So sale inspections are on target for level of activity. No new tracks turned in due to our bid opening last week. So we're kind of starting over on our tracks. Recon is on target for the year. We're still working on the Good Neighbor Authority. We had 34 hours put into that contract. Nothing new to report on other items. Carbon credit project, the inventory plots are mostly established. We are getting a lot of public questions about that. People are running into these pink painted plots all over. So we had, I think, three office visits in the last 2 days, people, explaining what's going on. So it's very visible. The other thing we did have our DNR timber sale programmatic and fiscal review audit on October 25th and 26th. There was no major findings. We will get a formal audit report summary probably before the end of the year. Nothing of any significance was found, just probably some minor tweaks to how we pull out some of our reporting for the bookkeeping. So finance department was involved pretty heavily with this. So but overall it was a pretty good audit, gave us some suggestions for some improvements as well. So but that should be coming sometime, I think, before the end of the year. So that's it for my report. Have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you. DNR forestry report.
Oh, we've got the timber sale.
Oh, I'm sorry,
approval.
timber
Yep.
sales. Sorry.
So we did have our fall timber sale bid on November 3rd. We offered 26 tracts. We sold 16. We had a total sold value of just over 693,000. If you look at the weighted average of the winning bids, we did have a pretty big decline. This bid opening was probably one of the weakest ones we've had in quite some time, both with number of bids and sales sold. So we didn't have a lot of aspen on this bid opening. We did most of that, our allowable cut, in the spring. So there are some market concerns going forward. The general mood is pretty negative right now, and we see that a lot in our fall bid openings in general. But on the bright side, we did sell a handful of sales that we had offered several times in the last 3 years. So we're still moving along, but for spring, we sold just over 1.6 million. So we're still on target for our goals, but it was kind of like I said, it was a weak, pretty weak opening. So, and then moving on to the actual bid results, they're all the high bidders are known contractors, no concerns. So I would recommend approval of the high bids.
So I guess, just a question, will the bid or the tracts that did not receive any bids, those will be rolled over to next year?
Yep. We'll generally resell them. If some of them don't sell after a few times, we'll either we can try to get a direct sale if anybody's interested for a minimum bid, or else we can retool the sales a little bit, make them more appealing. But generally, we re-advertise them, and eventually they will sell. But there's a lot of negativity with the market right now.
Make a motion to approve the timber sale. Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the timber sale contract. Any other questions?
No, we've been putting it in the agenda so the board sees it, but it does not need. Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Greg, just a couple of the sales, there's they say the total amount of the bid. I'm trying to find one of them here. The total amount of the bid received is less than the total minimum bid price.
Brody just pointed one of those out. So we've got a math error in here. So I know when we went through the bids there, they weren't below the minimum. So
Okay.
I think we've just
the-
got a glitch on the results.
All right, because it looks like the species bid is there, but the
Yep.
total at the end is not, right?
Yep, there's we'll take care of it, but it's still a approvable bid.
Okay.
Just a math error somewhere in our sheet. So
Okay, any other questions? All in favor of the motion to approve the timber sale bids, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay. DNR forestry report.
There's no formal report this month for DNR. We are working forward towards our county hours and been out in the woods setting up a few timber sales currently down in the winter block. So we're gonna keep chiseling along until the snow stops us from doing so. But we're moving forward with a bunch of county work. So that's all I have to report.
Okay. Moving on to item number 12. We received information regarding a legislative bill that was being circulated with regard to wakeboarding and wake generation in lakes across the state. And this generated some concern on the part of lake associations and a number of other people. And we have brought together a proposal for a resolution. After this was assembled, there was it was removed from the consideration in the legislature, but there still is some concern out there about whether or not this will come up again. And so this resolution is a draft, or was drafted, and like to open a discussion about this. Any comments that members of the committee might have, or members of the audience that may want to speak to any of this would be. Bill, or would you?
I am Phil Neese, and I am Vice President of the Sawyer County Lakes Forum. Just to give you a very short history of where Sawyer County is at on wake enhancement. And rather than wake boats, you can't actually name a boat, but you can name an activity. And in 2018, this is a testimony, and it's very short, that I gave to the Vermont legislature, because they are doing the whole state at 1,000 feet, and that's the attempted. So anyway, they came to the only place in the world that happens to have ordinances on the books, and they came to Sawyer County. And we have 4 towns that have, well, I'll bring you up to date. In 2018, a limited but growing number of wake boats were causing damage to Sawyer County shorelines and lake beds. The forum researched the standards to be used in the ordinance to allow without banning wake boats in ordinance. After researching the distance from shoreline necessary to protect our lakes, it was determined that the 500 feet was a minimal protection and 1,000 was the optimum distance to be based on scientific data. Politically, 700 feet was settled on. An ordinance was presented to the county board with 700 feet from shoreline with assurance of passage. It was later determined that counties, per Wisconsin statute, cannot enact wake or water ordinances. Only cities, towns, and villages can. Since 2018, the forum has been going town by town using the original county ordinance as a template. To date, the 4 major towns in Sawyer County, which is Bass Lake, Hunter, Round, and the town of Hayward, all have this ordinance. And 3 towns in Bayfield have also used the same ordinance as a template. An ordinance to wake boat owners has resulted in basic compliance in 2018. not stand here tell you somebody hasn't gotten too close to somebody or too close to shore. But in reality, we tried to do a very good job with the wake boat owners to telling them and getting their commitment to stay in the middle of the lake. That's basically what we're saying. So just stay away from the shoreline and most importantly, the wake beds. If this ordinance or this thing had gone through at 200 feet from shore, you basically, and this is no exaggeration, could have kissed all the lakes, including the flowage, away. Because you cannot believe the damage one of these boats can do due to the lake bed. The shoreline we can fix. Shoreline costly, and you can fix the shoreline. Once you open that lake bed up, we have naturally occurring phosphorus in Sawyer County. And we have to rename a lot of our lakes, green lakes. So I encourage you to pass this ordinance or resolution so that Sawyer County is on record in favor of 700 feet as a minimum and a depth of 30. So, any question? Yeah.
What, excuse my ignorance, but what is a wake boat?
Basically, they run in the neighborhood of $140,000 to $400,000 a piece. They'll make a wake that's anywhere from 2 feet to 3 to 4 feet high. We've had instances on the flowage before the ordinance was passed where boats were actually lifted up onto islands when they went by. There's only one on the flowage that I'm aware of. And he was complaining because with his ordinance, 100 town, he can only have one place. Yeah, that's right. That's where you should be.
Okay.
They take on ballast water and which puts the back of the boat down. And then that with the 300, 400 horse motor, it pushes down against the bottom, comes up and makes weight. And the big thing, you got to have distance to have that dissipate before it gets to shore, but also for shoreline protection. So
It's not these newer pontoons that have the like jet ski engines. That's not.
No, it's not water skiing. It's not in the ordinances that each of the towns have. There's a definition on how high the 24 inches, and that you can get out of, because if you go to get your ski boat out, you're going to make a bigger wake when you go to, especially the fat guys. Anyway, but I actually, in the day when I had an IO, if I put 3 of my fat friends with the beer can on the back of it and let it stay in a hole, I can make a pretty good wake. So, but the other problem that's coming, and I don't know how they're going to address this nationwide. You cannot, at this point in time, when they take in maybe 1,000 to 2,000 gallons of water in the back of these boats, when they take that water out and they go from lake to lake, there's no way for that ballast water to be completely gone. So whatever invasive species we got in one place, it's going to go to another. So that's a short version.
Is there any, I'm guessing the DNR would enforce this, and
the DNR refuses to enforce any local ordinances. They have fought us on every step of the way in passing Sawyer County's ordinance and in the town's ordinances. They want nothing to do with it.
so are there any teeth in these resolutions then to stop the bad players?
Well, the resolution is to go to the legislature, because I think the guys that tried to slip this in at 200 feet, and it's a joke because they put 50 feet or 50 acres. You can't use them. Well, you can't do that anyway. Any 50-acre lake in Wisconsin is slow no wake by statute for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think it's important that Sawyer County take a stand in saying, hey, this is what we have. This is what because it'll come back, because these people, money talks and everything else walks. And if you look at where the where the money has gone to the legislators, from the individuals, I'll guarantee you, because I already did it, that, big bucks are people that have weight boats in southern Wisconsin. And also in Sawyer County.
And I guess I'm concerned about the vegetation as well. Wild rice and beds that would, promote wildlife, so. I
Well, we
understand.
tried, when this came out, and it was it hit the ground running. And enough people got enough, the word got out fast enough. There was enough calls to the legislature that they pulled this back. And some of the people, our Senator Quinn had signed on as a sponsor, and he took his name off. But this will come back, and they'll try to modify it down far enough that, I mean, at 200 feet, you might as well have nothing. So.
Sir? So it's not just the wake though on these boats, it's when they take off is when they also. Yeah, they
gotta
turn
keep
up.
going, they keep going in the, I call it for my generation in the hole. You know, you're
Yes,
not
they're,
getting up.
they're turning up the.
Yeah.
Under, current or whatever for. Right when they take off and for quite some distance, correct?
As long as they're underweight, they're scurrying up the bottom until they get to deeper than 30 feet. So from the studies that have been done, once they go deeper than 30 feet, it dissipates enough that it's not disturbing. Under 30 feet, it still has enough downforce to stir up the sediments and the vegetation.
The current ordinances that are in effect in the towns of Sawyer County, we do not have a depth. And at the time, it was determined not to try to put that in. We were looking at going back and adding that to a line to our ordinances. Where the 30-foot depth is in, so in some of the towns, we haven't got to Round Lake yet, but we're coming, so.
Is this? To try to get it so that the counties can do a,
County can't do it.
No.
they're just trying to. Get something going with, in the state.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, this is designed to go to the state,
And get there.
and because the proposal bill LRB 3518 instead of putting minimum standards, it put maximum standards so that counties or anyone couldn't go over that. And that's why the resolution is to allow local governments as the main source of the control of this rather than having it maxed out by the state.
It's the same game plan as they did with zoning.
We just wanted to bring it back up
Can't be
again.
more restrictive than the state, which wiped out
Right.
a big vast of our 30 years of making a zoning ordinance that was protective of the shoreline.
Well, I would make a motion to approve this resolution to go forward to state.
Been moved to put this or to approve this resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second
that. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve this resolution. This would then have to go to the full board after this, so. Discussion.
I was wondering on the whereas LRB 3518, if that part should be removed since it has been removed from the legislature and just say legislation has been proposed. Or if we should keep that. That
would probably be a
better idea.
I think that would be a good idea to
remove that specific inference and just put legislation.
Just legislation.
But the next line, doesn't it? State, it's stating that bill failed. To set the minimum standards. So then.
Just amend, I mean, if you want to do that, I'll just jump in.
Mhm.
And whereas and change LRB 3518 to legislation. And then at line 7, change the bill to the legislation as currently written.
So we amend the resolution to.
Yeah, anywhere it says bill, change to legislation. That way we're not referring to a specific bill.
Evelyn?
I think I see 3 spots. Yep.
Okay.
So that would be 6, line 6, line 7.
12, 14.
Okay, so now we need, let's see, do we have a second for that? Okay, so we need to vote on the amendment to change the bill to legislation. Is that correct? Everybody understand that one? Okay, okay. All in favor of that, of the amendment to change the wording in the in this resolution, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. And now we approve, the vote will be to approve or send this resolution on to the full county board. All in favor of approving this resolution to go to the county board?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Just as a suggestion at the board meeting, should the resolution pass, maybe somebody from the committee wants to make a motion after that to direct the clerk to distribute the resolution to our area legislators and counties, so it gets out there that the county's taking this position.
Okay.
So just remember that. I'll try to remind you at the board meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Moving on. Zoning and Conservation Department. Tim,
Jay's
You
out
wa-
today, so
could you stand up to the microphone, please? Thank you.
Jay's out today, so he sent me in to take care of this portion of it. Update for their conservation department, zoning conservation department is working on several ordinance amendments that include updating the county floodplain ordinance. Also an update that'll incorporate the dam failure analysis for Fish Trap Lake Dam to establish downstream development. As part of the adoption of the DFA, they'll be looking towards applying again for the municipal dam grant for 2025 budget to repairs needed for the Fish Trap Dam. Fish Trap's been on our list to be fixed for a number of years, but Tiger Cat and Upper Bruni have needed it worse, but now it's time for that one to get fixed up. The 2024 joint allocation plan's been approved by the state. So Sawyer County was granted a $18,936 grant for nutrient management farmer education. That'll allow farmers to get paid to do soil sampling, as well as write their own nutrient management grants for proper use of nutrients on their fields. The staffing grant was approved in the amount of $109,126. That pays for both my position and half of Natalie's position. And then the cost share funding that we'll have for next year will be $38,500. We use that for various projects, NRCS type projects throughout the county. 50% cost sharing is available for non-ag owners and 70% is available for ag projects. We currently are using up our last dollars from this year right now. And then we'll have $8,000 in SEG funds that's just specifically set for nutrient management type practices. So that's where that funding all comes from. November 13th, the spring tree sale will be put online and people can begin ordering trees. Natalie's been working on that and has that all together and ready to go. And then also, the annual speaking and poster contest is begun. So the packets were sent out to all the area schools. This year's poster theme is May the Forest Be With You Always. So anybody through K through 12 can draw a poster. It has to have that theme on it. And we usually, for the local level, we vote on them here in the courthouse. Then they move on to our regional level. Winners of that go on to our state level where they get voted on at our conference. And any winners there move on to the national conference. So we have had some national winners in the past. So there's some pretty talented kids out there. And then one thing that's not on here, as you all know, Kevin Sheptick passed away recently. So with his passing, we now have a vacancy on the committee. That position has to be filled by let me get the right term here now. Somebody who's engaged in agricultural use. So I haven't had a chance to talk to FSA yet to see if they have anybody in particular. Otherwise, we will be searching for somebody who fits the definition of that to fill that ag position.
So the conservation department will be
Yeah, we're
examining.
We're looking and trying to find some possible replacements, and then we'll bring them to your guys' attention.
Okay.
Like I said, and that we don't know yet. Maybe FSA already has somebody that they're looking at, so we'll see about that.
Any questions for Tim?
I apologize. What's your name? And
Tim Seidel, I'm the assistant conservationist. Thank you.
I don't have any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Tim. Well, since there will be no USDA report today. Moving on to item C, 13C, LCO report. Brian, do you have something?
Sure. Good morning. Right now, conservation has been concluding the various habitat improvement projects we've started over the year. Hopefully we'll have them done within the next couple weeks. And then we're planning for our fiscal year 24 projects. We'll be doing a lot of tree planting next year, etc. Mid-October, we closed all of our Chippewa flowage campsites that we offer to the general public. And I know I reported last month that I would have the information on the 2023 LCO stocking program. Haven't been able to get that information yet. I keep forgetting to get a hold of my biologist to send it to me. So, but I'll have it next month. So other than that, we're just getting prepared for winter, and which I hate to say, is coming probably pretty soon. So that's about all I have.
Okay, any questions for Brian? Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, item 14, future agenda items. Anybody have any particular ones?
I don't have any specific items. I just wanted to mention that some of the reports are pretty brief. I don't know if they were here in person, if they would be any. Some of the departments are pretty straightforward work, but I know sometimes our meetings get a little quick. If there are any departments, topics, things that you want to hear about that you're not hearing about, please do let me or the department know so we can put those on the agenda. We'll make sure we keep you informed. And then I just wanted I saw Brian DeVries is online. I didn't know if he had anything he wanted to report on if he's actively listening or just answering questions. Brian, did you want to add anything?
I'm here. No, I didn't have anything additional to add to the reports for our office.
Okay, thanks.
Any future agenda items that anyone can think of? Hopefully we don't have more interesting things coming out of Madison to stir things up. Moving on, correspondence, reports from conferences and meetings. Haven't seen anything. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you all.